How you doing, guys? First of all, I want to say a big congratulations to a long-time friend and ex-student of mine, Jason Rose. I know that he is a subscriber and follower of my channel. We've stayed in touch over the years on social media, and he's just got his black belt, his jiu-jitsu black belt yesterday, I believe, or today. I think it was yesterday. He posted on social media, he contacted me privately to thank me for my guidance and stuff like that, and it's been a pleasure, and I just want to say a big congratulations to him on achieving this milestone. But in receiving that, and I've got a number of my ex-students have received their black belts recently, not from me, like I left Melbourne a long time ago, and they've gone on to new instructors and been graded under them. But leading up to December 14th, I have a grading up here, and one of my long-time students under me is going to be receiving his black belt after 17 years, which is quite a difficult time. But anyway, it made me think about, because I was just about to write to him and tell him a whole lot of stuff, and then I'm like, you know what, it would make a really interesting video, because I speak to a lot of new black belts about this topic, right? Because Jason in his message to me goes, oh my God, now I've got this target on my back and everyone's going to want to kick my ass. And I'm like, no. If anything, they'll have more respect for you, and hopefully that won't happen. It certainly wouldn't happen in any of my gyms, and you're under a great coach, so I doubt it's going to happen there. But I say the same thing, like Andrew Sheridan, longtime friend of mine, longtime student of mine, got his black belt last year. During this year, I think. Yeah, hasn't had a year yet. Anyway, so it's the same as any other belt. Yeah, you put on your blue belt and you don't really feel like a blue belt. It takes probably a year before you've forgotten about the fact that you're wearing a blue belt. You just do your belt up and get on with it. Same in purple, brown, and whatever. Black belt's just no different. So give yourself a year to even just get used to wearing the belt. Yeah, and my advice, as it was to Andrew, as it is to everybody who receives their black belt, one of the strange things that I noticed, and that seems to be a common theme, is that when you get your black belt, you're so used to looking forwards to the next belt and working your way towards it, and black belt kind of seems like the end of that, but the start of learning. And the reason I say that is because so often we're trying to get the new belt, and yeah, there's a curriculum quite often there's not, but in schools where there's a curriculum, you're trying to tick off the curriculum and techniques and understand them, and you're working towards this goal of receiving the belt. And there's a YouTube channel run by an SF guy, and I was telling the wife the other day, he's got this like little blurb at the start of his video, and it says, "Don't be scared of work that has no end." And it really stuck with me. If ever I feel myself getting frustrated, if ever I feel myself being overwhelmed, I always think of that the work that I'm undertaking has no end. It's going to be, the end of my martial arts learning and the end of my jiu-jitsu learning will be when I die. And so I have time. So there's no rush. Right? And to not be afraid of that, to look forward to the fact that there's this insurmountable amount of knowledge and learning to be done, but you don't have to rush it. Another good friend of mine, Jason Roebuck, has a great saying, which is, rush is the enemy of perfection. And I love that. I'm tempted to steal it, but it's his, so I won't. And it's, the two of them are the same kind of thing. Yeah? Like, set high standards, but like, just go about trying to achieve it. It doesn't have to be done in a specific time period. There's no hurry to have to like knock it off and tick it off and then move on. And I think that once you get your black belt, that's a great time to reflect. It's a great time to look back rather than forwards. Because like, what's the curriculum for first degree black belt? What's the curriculum for second? There is none, right? So I always encourage new black belts. First thing I suggest they do is turn around and look back at all the curriculums leading up to what you just received, and go back and perfect it. I did a class the other night at a gym, mostly brown and purple belts, blue belts, one white belt. And I started off with day one white belt basic technique. And there were elements in every single technique that all of them had either forgotten, not known about, neglected, glossed over, hadn't realized how important they were, and it explained a lot about why some of those basic techniques weren't working for them anymore, and why they then had to adopt a new fancier technique or a different variation from the original. And so I'm forever looking back at everything, like my forward reaching is about looking back and trying to perfect. I'm trying to bring my students to black belt. Once you get your black belt, then I think your like individual journey kind of can progress. But I think the path to black belt should be laid out by your coach. It should be not simple, but it should be laid out. Simple doesn't mean easy. So it can be laid out simply, but it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's like, listen to your coach. They know the path that got them to black belt. When you're injured, or when you're tired, or when you're frustrated, when you feel like you're in a plateau, speak to them and then do what they say, right? They've been there. I've had numerous injuries. I was at physio this morning, right? Nipping it in the bud before it becomes something significant, right? I'm learning as I get older. So I say the first year or even longer after getting your black belt, turn around and start at white belt again and look at all of the things in white belt that like in great depth and really understand that. And then look at blue belt and revisit every technique and make sure that you understand every single aspect of everything there. And then same into purple and same into brown. And that's going to take years to really deeply understand those techniques, because they're the techniques that all the other students below you are going to be asking about. Yeah, right? So you need to understand those at a very, very deep level. The mechanics of them, the timing of them, the sequencing has to be correct. And I think that is a great goal for the first year or two of having your black belt. Yeah, because it can be quite stressful. It's a very heavy belt. It's the heaviest of all the belts. And you feel an enormous responsibility, or you should. And that responsibility is those behind you, to those behind you, not to those up the chain who have already been there and been there for decades, right? Turn around and look backwards for a couple of years, and you'll amaze yourself as to what you find and uncover and reveal. I assume that every grading that you went through, from blue through to brown, you kind of like got through by a bee's dick, right? You only just made it, right? So in analyzing it in that way, go back to your blue belt grading, look through the white to blue curriculum. Do you really understand everything? And do that the whole way through up until your present grade. That's going to take you a year at least, maybe longer. By then, you'll be very comfortable in your black belt, and hopefully you don't have a target on your back, right? Because it's not about that. Anyway, again, congratulations to Jason, an amazing achievement. My advice is to look back and try and perfect everything that you've learned, rather than stress about the future too much. Enjoy wearing your new belt, and anybody can get their black belt. Anybody. It doesn't mean everybody's going to, but anybody can. And it's really up to the individual to motivate themselves, to build a relationship with their coach, to listen deeply to what they say. They've walked the road before you. They've been there for a long time. They've been through it all, and they're there to guide you and to help smooth out some of the bumps that you're inevitably going to have during that journey. Anyway, it's an awesome day. Congratulations, Jason. And if you want to, you're welcome, Jason, to come up to our grading December 14th. Todd's going to be sitting his black belt grading. His son Kai's going to be sitting his brown. Mick Harris will be going for his blue. There's going to be a whole lot of stripes. It's a big grading party. It's going to be fun. And yeah, anyway, have a great day, guys. Hope that helped you new black belts. And for those of you trying to achieve your black belt, you're almost there. Keep going. Don't give up. And resilience. That's all I can say. Bye.